right, great friends. What's happening? It is a Wednesday afternoon. It's Kaplan and crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And as always, we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. So it's always interesting when we bring up the subject of fights that happen between fans. And there's a video that's going viral of these Padre fans and Dodger fans. And one Dodger fan, big dude, Ohtani jersey, just punching down on this like old man in the trolley yesterday. And everybody just right away goes, well, he was saying some racist stuff. Like, okay, can you just show me? Because just want to see it and hear it so I understand why big Ohtani dude was beating up on old skinny guy.
And I know public transportation in San Diego is pretty awful anyways. And I know that the trolley is very convenient for a lot of people. But in 2006, when I moved to San Diego, I rode a trolley after a Padres-Dodger game and a massive brawl broke out. And I was like, I'm never riding this thing again. And I learned my lesson pretty quickly. The trolley is just, you're too crammed in there, man. Like after a game, it's just, you're a glutton for punishment if you're on that thing, in my opinion.
The trolley is a representation of America. You can get on the trolley, you mind your damn business, you'll get home safe and sound. When you start running off at the mouth in a public space, you get what you're supposed to get, okay? The internet has made people tough. So in your corner of the world where you can tittity-tap with your thumbs, you can say wild, crazy stuff about folks. But then sometimes you forget, I'm in public, and my Twitter voice came out, and this man corrected me. He lined me up. Because I can tell you right now, if this had been this big old young fella punching this old white man for no reason, the people of San Diego, if they're nothing, they're civil. They would have broke it up.
You say that, but I sat there and watched that video. I watched that whole video. There is not one person trying to back up the big. It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me anything other than people don't want to get involved.
He wasn't supposed to say.
That's not what it tells me. It may tell you that. It may tell you that. Don't tell me that.
That was a big Dodger fan, dude. I ain't saying anything.
Right, me neither. That guy's big. He's big, got big old shoulders, big hands, and I'm like, hey, sir, I'm actually sorry the Padres won. In fact, I'm wearing all this Padre gear. I wish the Dodgers would have won. Don't touch me. Leave me alone.
What you just saw in that trolley is an example of people's court, all right? You get out of line, it'll take care of itself.
Yeah, but
people
you know
didn't jump in.
I would say for a night,
people don't want to jump in. People do not want to jump in.
When someone's wrong, they will.
Okay, hold on one second. I just saw this Yankees-Mets fight. Big, massive brawl between all these Yankees-Mets fans. I don't know what was said. I don't know what prompted it. But there wasn't anybody jumping in trying to stop it. You know why? Because ain't nobody want to get hit. Nobody wants to get hurt.
Especially in confined places.
Anybody else's business.
Especially in confined places.
So you make your own judgment, and you tell me that the white guy said something racist because he's a white guy and he's old.
And they say that. And they do racist. Old people say racist stuff.
Oh, come on. All of them? All of them.
Too many?
Oh, listen, did you hear what he said? Did you hear on that video anything he said that was racist? Because I didn't.
The man said in English, if I'm not mistaken, and in Spanish, the racist stuff I'm not going to tolerate. If you want to go back and forth about baseball, let's. But the racism, I'm not going to tolerate.
What'd he say? You don't know, and I don't know. I don't know.
He know what he said, and the dude punching him know what he said.
Mm-hmm. And maybe he didn't say anything racist. Maybe that was just a convenient excuse. Hey, he said something racist, therefore I get to beat him up again and again and again.
You do. You do. Yeah. If you say something racist, if you say something racist, you got to be ready to fight. I don't understand why this needs to be explained to people. If you say something racist to somebody, you got to be ready to whoop them. You got to be ready to whoop them. That's it.
Well, I can tell you this right now. That big
I think
old
as a rule of thumb,
he wasn't getting whooped. Not by that old man.
As a rule of thumb, Browner is 100% correct, in my opinion. If you're going to say some racist stuff, you best be ready to catch the smoke. That's all. I agree.
Be ready.
When it comes to the situation last night, I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's not a good look for the Dodger fan, I'll tell you that much.
No,
a big old Mexican dude beating up on an old white guy like that, that's not a good look. But if it was racism, if the white guy was saying some racist old stuff to the Mexican brother, then they deserve it.
Hey, listen, he had it coming.
Can we all agree? Can we all agree on that?
He had it coming. What I'm saying, though, is we didn't hear it. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. We didn't hear it.
All right.
You know,
People's Court, 9 session.
Well, we need a John Boy breakdown of that video. Somebody send it to John Boy. He's a good lip reader. Figure it out, John Boy.
All right. We will. We'll try and figure it out. All right. He did. He
Get
took
that
the
2-piece
two-piece.
and an enchilada.
Oh, he didn't take a biscuit. Oh,
Oh,
he took an enchilada. That's some racist stuff right there.
My bad, y'all. I apologize.
Maybe ready to
I'm
fight.
sorry.
You son of a.
That was too far. That was too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. I do wonder though, like that Dodger fan, like his face is plastered everywhere. Like, do they go looking for him now? They press charges against that dude. And the old man he took those punches pretty decently. I got to tell you, man.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Cause he came up looking for more and he started firing back. I was like, oh man, what are you doing? Like, if that guy would have punched me, I'd have cried and ran away.
Just from a pure fight analysis without the context of the fight, right? Just a fight analysis. I think the white guy came off pretty good because that dude was just kept getting up. And I was like, my man, if you're going to throw some punches, make them count, dude. Yeah. Like, come on.
I love how we're talking about a fight that few people saw. We need to post this fight.
You know what the problem is? Let me tell you the problem. For everybody that's new to the show, everybody who's here with us.
And it was the orange line, by the way. Does that matter?
I don't know. Where is it going?
Yes, it does.
Where's the orange line going?
You know it. You know where it's going.
Is it going to Del Mar? Is it going to UTC?
It's not going where you're going, dude.
My bad. I thought he knew. Then I reminded myself who I was talking to. This man ain't been on no trolley going east. The orange line goes to East County, my brother. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That man earned that. That man earned that ticket.
We should have started with that.
Yeah.
It was on the orange line.
Right.
Now who's being racist?
We apologize.
Well, all I know is this, that we can't play the video for you anymore of the fight. Here's why. We used to play fight videos all the time, and we used to have so much fun sitting here judging fight videos. In fact,
only stadium fights, though. We weren't like breaking down some street fights, really.
No, but remember that one street fight?
Yes,
remember
that guy got kicked in the rear?
Right.
Well, dude, he was like Bruce Lee, the guy, man. Like, that's different.
We're breaking down the street fight.
Dude, these two guys were out on the street fighting with each other. And this one guy, like, all of a sudden comes in with this roundhouse kick and kicks this dude right in the ribs. And we sat here and cried our eyes out laughing.
Yeah.
And we kept playing fight videos over and over again until finally YouTube said to us, dude, he said, YouTube, they suspended us. They actually pulled us down.
They thought that we played a video of kids fighting because it wasn't kids fighting. But they thought because they couldn't verify how old the people in the video were, and we didn't put it for 18 plus and over. So YouTube and their guidelines took us down. And by the way, I went on YouTube and I took a course to remove our strikes. So I had to like go on YouTube, take a course to review their actions and their guidelines, and our official warning, which means you can be warned and then a strike you can't post for 2 weeks. So our official warning finally expires August 29th.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
August 30th, we got to start playing fight videos again.
There you go.
By the way, put my Twitter up. I'll put for people who are looking for what we're talking about. I posted it on Twitter.
Yeah,
on
but
my
did you
own
post
personal account?
But let me ask you something. Did you post the extended version?
Yes.
Because there's like a 2-minute version.
Yes.
You know,
that's the one that's up.
And when the guy is yelling at him in Spanish to cut it out, he turns around and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "we can talk baseball, but I ain't playing with that racist stuff." You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, okay, what did he say? I didn't hear the racist stuff. Somebody must have video. And then if I hear him, the white guy, saying something racist to the Mexican dude, okay, then I will acknowledge he had it coming to him. But in the meantime, it kind of looks like a big young guy beating up on an old skinny guy.
Just reposted it at Kaplan and Crew or Browner's podcast or Browner's Twitter, whatever you
Okay. All right.
So at Browner's podcast right there on the screen, if you're watching on TV, if you want to try to follow along, I've reposted the fight. So.
All right. Okay. All right. Listen,
we covered fights on this show.
Yeah, we had a great. We were known as a fight show. You know, not boxing, not MMA, street fights. This segment of Kaplan and Crew, as always, being brought to us by our friends at 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. If you are looking for the best place to play blackjack, poker, and other table games, watch all the games on monitors all around the casino in a smoke-free environment, which has got super easy freeway access and is only 7 minutes south of downtown.
That race for the Cy Young pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, Skeen doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The silver and the bronze. I give you Canada, France, Germany, Serbia, and Australia.
Germany, more so than Canada. I think that their talent, it's a little more tiered. You know what Dennis Schroeder's capable of. Franz Wagner, another player. Daniel Tice steps up, and Mo Wagner as well. They're built to really take advantage of the mistakes that Team USA makes, and they can make the effort plays.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Mustache is falling off. It's got to go. Skeen's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Yo, great friends, what is going on? It is a Wednesday. It's Kaplan and crew, Got Grande, and the Brown Man, and we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com, as I've said many, many times already. Hey, so people are, this is great. People are in our YouTube chat, our live YouTube chat right now, like Juliana here. She's like, bring back the fight videos. Juliana wants the fight videos. I love it. Not like a dude named Rusty Bones or Dead Meow. You know, none of these guys. It's Juliana. Bring back the fight videos, guys. August 29th, Juliana. We'll bring back the fight videos.
We got to start. We got to come back with a bang too. We need a good one. We need an NFL one.
Yeah, and just I don't want to spoil the fun, but we're not. So I'm not doing any more courses. You guys do the courses. I ain't doing it no more.
Yeah. You ain't doing any more YouTube universities, huh?
No, that was brutal, dude. No thank you.
All right. Well, a big shout out to everybody who's with us today, listening on channel 159 on Sirius XM, the SportsGrid radio channel. To everybody around the country who's watching on TVs. I think I told you guys yesterday, my daughter in Boise, Idaho, one of her friends went to some bar restaurant, and this guy, he looks up on the screen, and there we are. We're all over the place. So my daughter today told me she's going back to the same restaurant for lunch. She wants to see the show on TV. So, all right. And to everybody who's watching at SportsGrid in New York, we appreciate all you guys are doing. I know that, we're only 8 shows in, but this is going to be the next couple of years are going to be fantastic. And we appreciate all the work you guys are doing as we're just sort of testing and working and getting through all the little hiccups that we got along the way. I will tell everybody locally here in Southern California, I will talk in the last half hour of the show about today, the burial of what used to be the greatest sports radio station in Southern California, the Mighty 1090. I will talk about that in the last half hour of the show. All right, here's Darth Navarro. If you guys want to punch something, punch that like button on YouTube. Yeah, people. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, hit that like button, y'all.
Yeah.
How many likes do we have? Do we have
how concerned, can I ask Browner a question directly?
Please.
How concerned are you about Team USA today?
Oh, Team USA versus South Sudan.
I mean, I know you guys were scared last time. Just
listen.
Just curious,
Depends on what that trickster Steve Kerr's up to.
Oh, really? If he doesn't play your boy Jason Tatum, right? Then they're dead.
Depends on what that trickster's up to.
So you're telling me, just to clarify what you're saying, if Jason Tatum does not play today, Team USA is in trouble.
No, because he played when they played the South Sudan the last time. That's a listen.
So maybe
That's
Steve
a
Kerr
feisty
learned his
bunch.
lesson.
That's a feisty bunch. They're athletic. Okay, they move well on the wings. We just got to be focused against them. Okay, they're a 29-point underdog. All right.
Okay.
We got to be able to take it to them.
Is LeBron James going to have more or less than 28.5 total points, rebounds, and assists? Because I'm getting ready to play a little prize picks action right now.
Listen, I would say less because this needs to be an all-around dominant effort. And I mean, clobber these dudes, because to get within 1 point and then to, come back and then potentially be in another game with you in the actual real life Olympics. Nah, bro, we can't have that. America, bro, we need to be up by 50 at halftime.
50.
We need to be up by 50 at halftime.
No air.
America, y'all. All right, so that
Statement.
game between the U.S. and South Sudan, the basketball game, is at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. I'm going to be watching that.
And here's Steph, what he said. We have appropriate fear. We know we just can't sleepwalk through any game and feel like you're going to win. They have appropriate amount of fear.
Yeah.
Which is probably none.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm kind of with Browner on this one. Like South Sudan put a little bit of scare into them. Like, hey, it was close. And listen, had South Sudan won that game in the warm-up tournament, it wouldn't have done anything other than prepared the U.S. for today. But I think that even the way LeBron came to the rescue and won that game at the end, Team U.S. knows what South Sudan did. They know that people are around the world watching this like, ooh, are they really that close? I mean, South Sudan had like no NBA players except one guy like Wenyan Gabriel, who at one time played for the Lakers, and he was a bench player for the Lakers. So it's not like South Sudan.
He was more of a cap liability than a player for the Lakers.
Right. Like I would think that Serbia, the Joker's team, posed more of a legitimate threat to Team USA, given, that you got the best player, I guess maybe the 3-time MVP on that team. There's no chance South Sudan wins this game today, even though they were that close last time, because of what Browner's saying. This time, Team U.S. goes out and crushes South Sudan by like 50.
You know who I'm sneaky scared of? I can't even lie. France. Sneaky scared of France, dog. Wemby.
These short games, too, also can be tricky.
Yes.
Too. If you fall behind early for whatever reason, these 40-minute games can they finish fast. So I think that's always important for the U.S. Just go out strong. That's why I don't like these giant. 29.5 is a lot for a 40-minute game. That's a big old spread.
And France has 5 NBA players, and 2 of them are all-stars. So,
But you say that Team U.S. is favored by 29.5 points over South Sudan?
Yes.
Something close to that, yeah.
I would take that play. It's a ridiculous amount of points. That is like when, LSU is playing like Troy in football, and the spread is like 35 points. And you're like, that's just too many points. There's no way, they'll call off the dogs in the second half and the third and fourth teamers will be in there and it'll be a
Tatum
21-point game.
Fourth. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Team U.S. destroys South Sudan. I'm with Browner. It's never close. And they win this game by 35, 40 points. And I would take the U.S. to cover the 29.5 against South Sudan. In fact, I'm going to play it. That's right.
I'll take Sudan in those points all day.
All right. Let me do this. So is everybody still talking and buzzing? Because yesterday, while we were on the air, we were watching the U.S. women's gymnastics team take home gold, right? And then last night, after the Padres-Dodgers, I flipped over to NBC, and they were showing what we had already seen early in the morning. I assume under the assumption that most of America is not sitting around watching TV at 11 o'clock in the morning,
right?
At least Pacific Coast time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern time. So I saw what we saw yesterday morning live. I saw it again last night on TV, so I was kind of a little bored by it, which is why, by the way, Alex, I'll have you know, I went back and watched the remaining half of House of the Dragon, which I think was episode 7 last night.
Yes.
I will tell you this about House of the Dragon.
Spoiler alert.
No spoiler.
Just say it in general.
I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to say this. The first part of this season of House of the Dragon, I found confusing. So many names, trying to figure out who's who. I found it to be very confusing. Last night was the best episode so far of the season, I thought. What did you think, Alex? Did you like this week's episode?
I thought it added to the confusion, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
He's playing well, isn't he, John Rahm?
And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? Selfishly, you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, let me get to a little bit of NFL football here because we've talked a ton of baseball. Then we started getting into fan fights. And then I don't know, YouTube suspensions. And I'm not even sure where the hell else we've been today. Yesterday when I showed up at Rams camp, though, Browner, I'm telling you right now, I showed up at Rams camp yesterday. I pull all up in it. Dude, people see these new blenders. These are the Coach Primes, and they love them. They absolutely love them. I told you guys that 2 days ago I was at Rams training camp. I ran into Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle was wearing some really bomb blenders. And, of course, I right away compliment him. I love these new Coach Primes. If you are a Coach Prime fan, if you are a Colorado fan, or if you just think these glasses are bomb, which everybody tells me they are, which I love them too, they're available for you. All you have to do is go to blenderseyewear.com. They've got these great polarized lenses. They've got these super cool frames. These in particular have the Prime logo up here in the upper left corner, and you're going to love them because they're inexpensive. They're super great, lenses. Really protect your eyes in the sun. The frames are really cool, and they're going to send them right to your house. Blenderseyewear.com, and you save 20% when you use our code Kaplan. Shout out to Blenders Eyewear. So I was at Rams camp yesterday, and, everything went smoothly. Browner, I did run into your girl, Mina Kimes.
I was hating on you low key.
I know you love her.
Is she married now with babies?
I don't really know her deal. I don't really know. I
was asking for Browner.
Oh, because I respect her, because I think she's really good. I think she really, really, really knows her stuff. So I give her a ton of credit. I think she's really great at what she does. I just don't know her that well. And I don't mean personally. I don't know her personally at all. But like in terms of what she does, because she mentioned her podcast with this, like the name of her dog or something.
Lenny.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, see, I don't see it. I don't know it, But she was nice. She was pleasant. It was only the second time I'd ever met her, but maybe the third time. And I said to her, well, a couple of years ago at the Super Bowl, my boy Browner walked up on you and said, I got to take a picture with you. And I said, so now I got to take a picture of me and you so I can send it to him. And she goes, well, you tell your boy Browner. I said, what's up?
That's right. She remembered me.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
I have never seen Browner nervous in my life. But that moment right there, that moment in Miami on the field of the Miami Marlins baseball team, whatever it's called now, nerves, hard.
Why are you so infatuated with Mina Kimes?
I've never seen him so unsmooth. I've never seen him so unprepared. I've never seen I was like,
all those
who
things.
is this person?
What happened to your game, dog?
Out the window.
First of all, I was in a work capacity. I was carrying too much stuff, so I didn't have my game on. I had my game on. it wasn't my best effort. And so then when I saw her, I was like, oh, there she go. So I just had to go with what I had. I just wasn't prepared, bro. I wasn't prepared.
Bro, I was standing right next to him. He goes, yo, Mina, take a picture with you? That was it. And she's like, well, yeah,
what's your name?
What's your name? And
Right.
she's like, oh, you could see Browner like snapping into it. But at that point, she was like snapping out, you know? She was nice.
I didn't even know who she was
I
back
lost
then.
that at the introduction. I lost that at the introduction. That's all
I literally didn't even know who she was back then. And then you guys had to tell me who she was. And obviously now she's become a huge star for ESPN. And she does work with the Rams preseason. I think she's like a preseason in-game analyst.
Announcer.
For the Rams. And she was pleasant. I mean, she and DeMarco knew each other because DeMarco Farr, who's a former Rams defensive lineman, Super Bowl champion, he and I have been working together for the last few weeks. And they knew each other. So that was kind of cool. And then Kirk Morrison, our boy Kirk Morrison, San Diego State great. He was over there and he kind of knew her. And she was sitting next to me. And I'm like, I don't really know her that well. I mean, in fact, at all, you know. And she has zero, and I mean zero interest in saying, hi, how are you? Like, I know I work in the ESPN building right across the street. I listen to you guys on the radio. Like nothing.
She doesn't.
Because she doesn't.
But it's weird because everybody else seems to. Like all the other ESPN, like local LA talent, when I run into these guys, they're like, dude, I listen every day. I think you guys are great, blah, blah, blah. You know, Alex, you say,
someone's
Rob,
offended.
Who? Who's offended?
I wonder who.
Who?
You.
I'm offended by what?
About Mina just not even giving you the time of day.
Oh, not even the time of day. Like if I would have said to her, Mina, do you know what time it is? She'd be like, I have it, but I ain't giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame her.
Yeah,
Stay strong, Queen.
You know what
Stay
it is?
strong.
It's I guess
she's like, oh, you work with that Browner guy? That was weird.
No, I think she was like, I think she's like, oh, you work with Sedano. Well, he's cool. You know?
Maybe not. Maybe she's like Sedano. Ugh.
No, I think Sedano and her are part of the same kind of like young ESPN around the horn sort of up and coming. You know, I think they're part of that crew. Me, I'm like, you know, I guess I'm like the old white guy now. You know, I'm uncool in that way.
Well,
it happens, bro.
Yeah.
When are you going to Chargers camp?
No Chargers camp for me.
What? They won't let you in?
No Chargers camp for me. I would go to Raiders camp.
Jim's your guy.
You're not allowed.
Jim can't get you in?
If Jim Harbaugh says, Scotty, come on in, you're in.
No, I'm not going.
Come on. Really?
I mean, maybe if Dean Spanos bends the knee.
Oh.
What if he can broker something between you and Dean, where you and Dean can have a little side by side? You feel me?
You know what? I'll tell you right now. I'm a Rams fan now. I'm a Rams fan. I like the team. I like the organization.
In your blood, though.
No, it's not my blood, but I like the Rams, and I'm happy to be part of the Rambly now. You know, I hugged it out with Rampage yesterday.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and I have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the target. Right hand from Mike Perry, double check. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, great friends. Hey, it's Kaplan and crew, and we are presented by Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services right here in San Diego in Southern California. If you need to buy, sell, or maybe even need a home equity line of credit right now, never make a move in real estate without talking to our guy, Gary Cooper, Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. All right, so guys, listen, I'm going to call a total hard stop on today's show. Yeah, hard stop. We've talked Padres, Dodgers, and we'll get into game 2 of that series as we get off into the sunset later today. We've talked a bunch about some Olympic-related stuff. We've talked about stadium fights. I mean, we've kind of been all over the place today. But I got to call a hard stop, and I got to talk about something that's very personal. And I know people have been like saying to me, are you going to talk about this? And so, yes, I'm going to talk about it. Here goes. Today is our last day on terrestrial radio in Southern California on the Mighty 1090. So let me back up and let me give a little bit of history so that you understand the significance of today. In 2001, I came to San Diego from New York City. I worked at a radio station called Extra Sports 690. It was the legendary radio station of Southern California, and it was broadcasting from San Diego. But trust me when I tell you, it was an LA sports radio station just as much as San Diego. It had UCLA football. It had Kings hockey. It had LA properties. Okay. But everybody was home based in San Diego, and it was Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, and it was the Loose Cannons with, at the time, Philly Billy Warndell and Steve Hartman. And it was Coach Quintera, and me and Billy Ray were the morning show, the Scott and BR show. We started there in 2001. But then in 2002, late 2002, the company at the time, Clear Channel, decided to kill 690 to help their LA sports station because 690 was dominating in the ratings and in the sales. So they killed 690 and they moved half the team up to whatever station it was in LA. Of course, that didn't do so well. We were pissed, man. We were pissed. How dare they take our radio station from us? So then what we did is we got together with John Lynch, who was the original founder of 690. Yes, John Lynch, the 49ers GM, his dad was one of the real pioneers of sports talk radio. And we together in 2003, we started the Mighty 1090. And it had a monster blowtorch of a transmitter. We would broadcast from 250 miles south of the border in Mexico all the way up to the central coast of California, San Diego, Orange County, LA, Grande's hometown, Oxnard, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo. I mean, we were making it at nighttime. We were up in the quote unquote Canadian Rockies for real. So that station started in 2003. From 2003 till 2012, we were the morning show of Southern California sports. And I say Southern California, we were in San Diego, but we were all over LA as well. In fact, one time, a writer by the name of TJ Simers from the LA Times, rest in peace, TJ Simers. TJ once wrote a column that the best sports radio show in Los Angeles actually emanates from San Diego. And he was giving us a lot of love and credit back then. In 2012, and by the way, there were lots of highs and lows. This was not a straight line. This was not super easy. I mean, there was a time we were going to leave, and then we were all suing each other, and then we came back. And then in 2012, when management had changed, we actually got fired over some BS nonsense. And in February of 2012, we were fired. And in December of 2012, we got our jobs back. And part of me coming back to the radio station, as I said to the owners back then, I get to fire the guy who fired me. And so we fired the top management. We came back on the air, only now we went from morning radio to afternoon drive radio, and we were on the air from 3 to 6 every day. That's 2012. That's when Alex, who, by the way, Grande, what year did you start at 1090 as an intern?
2011.
Right. So Alex started as an intern in 11. In 2012, when we came back, we hired Alex to be the producer. Little did we know that Alex was going to become the superstar that he has become. So 2012 to 2019, we have another great run on 1090. I mean, the station's making money. We're making money. The station's on fire. We're the station of the city, and we're through it all, man. We had the Padres at the time. The Chargers were on their way out. We were fighting to try and keep the Chargers. Then the Padres left, and they went to the FM dial, which was a great move by them, which I had been trying years earlier in 2012. I actually tried to get the Padres to come to the FM dial because when I was not working for 1090, I was working with a company called Odyssey out of New York, and we were trying to flip one of their stations to an FM sports station, which they eventually did. But that was I was working with their top management, who's still their top people. I've known these people forever. Anyway, whatever. I sounded very Trumpy there. Did you hear that, Browner? I've known these people forever. Great people. Millions of people. Great people, by the way. So now, 2019, we go off the air. And this is where the story, I want to pick up the story from here. In 2019, the radio station goes off the air. We're literally broadcasting, and in the middle of a broadcast, boom, they take the transmitter down. I tried to buy the radio station unsuccessfully, thankfully, because it would have turned into a disaster during COVID. So we, in 2019, guys, you guys, we were all together. I'm telling you right now, I did not know what I was going to do in my life. In 2019, I did not know what I was going to do. I was unemployed. My radio station just blew up. They owed me money from a contract that I was never going to get. My divorce was finalizing, and I owed my wife pretty much everything I had. I was in a very deep, dark place. But thankfully, one friend of ours, a guy by the name of Jason Finley at Callaway Golf, said, come broadcast from our headquarters. Broadcast to where, Jason? He said, to YouTube, to TuneIn, to all the audio podcast platforms. I go, I don't even know what you're talking about, because in 2019, I was not prepared to go on as a broadcaster if I didn't have a terrestrial radio station to broadcast on. I was unaware, I was uninformed, and I was behind the times. But Jason Finley said, come broadcast from here. We went up to Callaway Golf, and from March of 2019 to October of 2019, we broadcasted from Callaway Golf on YouTube. We started to build our YouTube following. So in 2020, August of 2020, a guy by the name of Bill Hagan put 1090 back on the air, and he said, we want to put your show on the air. We said, okay, fine. We're recording it in the morning. You can air it later in the day, because by that time, I already was hired by ESPN in Los Angeles. So I was going to do live talk radio in LA, and I was not going to, I didn't know what we were going to do. But we put the show on the air later in the day on tape. Okay, fine. I knew that in August of 2025, the lease was going to end, and I kind of figured that's when we would be off the air at 1090. But as of today, this is the last broadcast we will do on 1090. And while I didn't feel sentimental about it at all, and I had absolutely zero emotion about it at all, until last night, my girlfriend said to me, you do realize that tomorrow, meaning today, is your last terrestrial radio broadcast in San Diego. Probably forever. And then it hit me. Wow, this is kind of a big deal. Now, yeah, I'm still on the radio up in LA on 710 every day. Okay. And yes, we are prepared right now. Unlike in 2019, when we went off the air in 2019, we were unemployed and we had nowhere to go. And we had no broadcasting ability of any kind until we went to Callaway and turned on YouTube, and we started to learn about the digital world. But as of today, when we go off the air today on 1090, it doesn't even mean a thing to me, because I was prepared to go off. I could have told 1090, take us off. It wouldn't have even mattered. We'd already put together this deal with SportsGrid. I wanted to get onto Sirius XM. I wanted to get onto a bigger television platform. And while today is our last radio broadcast on 1090, tomorrow you can listen on Sirius. You can watch on SportsGrid. You can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Amazon Music, iHeart. You name it, we're on it. So it's not like 5 years ago where we were completely unprepared. And you see, the thing that's making me understand this better than anything is that, you see, there's a guy who broadcasts on this radio station 1090. He's an institution. His name is Pete Gray. He does Saturday and Sunday mornings on a fishing show called Let's Talk Hookup. And Pete's 70 years old. And guess what? Pete doesn't know what the hell he's going to do. Because unlike us, we've already prepared for life after terrestrial radio, Pete is not prepared for that. I've been talking to him every day. Listen, our friend Darren Smith, for the last 5 years since 1090 ended, he went to iHeart. He broadcasted every day on 760 a.m. They let him go because he made too much money. Guess what? He's off the air, and he's unemployed right now, and he doesn't know how to get back on the air. And there are no jobs in this industry for a guy like him. So if you are going to be in this business today, and I tell this to young kids all the time, you can't expect to be on radio or TV. You need to start a podcast. You need to start a YouTube channel. You need to build your social media following. We're on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube right now live. So
hopefully they learned their lesson. Hey, this ain't the NBA, bro. You don't have 6 fouls, and they will check you on this stuff. And Brooks has a reputation coming into this. You can tell the refs are watching him, and they were on him all the time.
This was 10, 12 years ago. Canada playing Greece with that type of lead that they had. They probably would have mentally crumbled and lost that game to Greece by 3 or 4 points in the final minute of that ball game.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
That race for the Cy Young, pretty much as equally compelling and intriguing as the race for the wild card spots in the National League.
And also keep in mind, this team doesn't pitch the entire season, so his ERA gets affected much, much more if he has a poor outing than, let's just say, Chris Sale or Zach Wheeler that's been there all season long. This would be a fun one to watch it play out, but the big loser last night were the Phillies and Zach Wheeler.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Their coach has a personality that is New York City. Tough, grinding, defensive, no holds barred. We muck this game up and we make you play it our way. And Tibbs has been rewarded, and he should be rewarded for what he's done with the Knicks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
So just to finish where I was on this whole death of 1090 thing, because I definitely want you guys' feedback. I'll say this, and I said this to Bill Hagan yesterday, because Bill Hagan put the radio station back on the air in August of 2020. And I told him yesterday, I go, Bill, I'm really grateful to you. I could be angry with you, but I'm not at all in the slightest bit. I'm actually grateful to you, because by putting us back on 1090, that put us on cable television. So now we were YouTube, and we were 1090, and we were cable TV, and we had lots of reach. And then because we had so much reach, we then had more opportunity. And more opportunity presented itself most recently in the deal that we put together with SportsGrid. And now, again, this just gets me back to where I was. In 2019, when 1090 went off the air, I was unemployed. I was getting divorced. I had 4 kids in high school. And I really did not know what I was going to do with my life and how I was going to support my family. But 5 years later, in 2019, when you tell me that 1090 is going off the air, I'm completely prepared. If we didn't have the SportsGrid deal, we'd have YouTube and Apple and Spotify and all the audio podcast platforms, and we'd still go on. But the fact that we did this deal with SportsGrid, it actually makes us look kind of smart, like as if we saw it coming. Can't say that that's necessarily the case. I thought a year out we would be off 1090, but I didn't think it was going to happen this summer. But unlike 5 years ago where I was in a state of panic, we're good, man. You want to catch up to us on Sirius? You got us on Sirius XM. You want to catch up to us on television? We're on like every form of TV, whether it's Amazon Prime or Roku or a Samsung television or YouTube or the SportsGrid website. I mean, we're everywhere. We are literally everywhere. And so when I sent out a note yesterday to Gary Cooper from Mountain Trust Realty Services, to Chase Fisher from Blenders Eyewear, to Big Brad from 7 Mile Casino, to our friends at Torrey Holistics, to Brett over at Life Brew, to all of our clients and the people who support the show, I told them, hey, there's a news report that 1090 is going off the air. I believe it's true. It's not confirmed, but I'm confirming it for you now. But we're in a better position to expose your brand to a broader and more national audience than ever before. So let's just keep going. We're leaving terrestrial radio and traditional cable television. We're leaving it in the rear view, and we're going forward with Sirius satellite radio all over the country and a national streaming television platform. We're actually ready to go forward. In fact, if anything, radio is holding us backwards in a lot of ways. So I'm sad for people. I mentioned Pete Gray. He's 70-something years old. He's been on the radio for 40 years in Southern California. It's all he knows. And now he doesn't have a place to broadcast from or to. And Pete is not prepared. Darren Smith, God love him. I love him. I hope he's watching right now. Darren was happy. He was doing radio every day. But when they take him off the radio, he doesn't have an established YouTube channel. He doesn't have all these audio podcast channels because he was working for iHeart. We're prepared. So, to everybody that played a part in 1090, it was a great, great radio station. And it occurred to me, wow, man, 23 years of broadcasting on the San Diego radio airwaves. Thank goodness I'm up at 710 in LA, and that's worked out for me personally. Thank goodness this show has taken off, and it's great for Grande and Brown Man. But, for people that were part of it, Hacksaw, Darren Smith, Philly Billy Warndell, Steve Hartman, Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian, Coach John Quintera, and I'm Steve Mason started 1090 with us way back in there. And for all of these people, we had a great thing and it ran its course, and 1090's dead. It'll never be a sports radio station again. And the fact is, AM sports radio is not what it used to be. Look, I'm lucky. ESPN's a whole different world because that's an AM sports radio station, but you put it together with the mobile app and you put it together with the YouTube channel, and you've got literally millions of people watching and listening. But that's LA. So, Grande, Brown Man, I know I'm kind of ranting, and I appreciate you guys laying out for me a little bit, but what do you think about all this?
That's a good question, man. I think what the station meant to me, it gave me an opportunity to go in this direction, and I will always be thankful for that. Some of the best business practices I've learned from mistakes that I watched be made in that building as well. And so I have a weird place for 1090 always in my heart because of that's literally where I began my journey in this industry. And so it's kind of bittersweet if it's dead. If this is my, goodbye, this is my shovel on the dirt, it's been a real one. It's been a real one.
Well, you two were at my wedding, and you guys know that 1090 made it in my vows. Because if it wasn't for that radio station, I wouldn't have met my wife. So it changed my life forever, not only professionally, but personally. So 1090, Mighty 1090, which I never called it Mighty or 1090, Mighty 1090 will be a part of me forever. And I have nothing, as terrible as it was to work there, I have nothing but positive memories about it,
Right.
And what's really weird is that the last 4 years that we've been on 1090, I don't really feel like I've worked for 1090. I just know that we're on 1090.
Right. We didn't work there. No, we used 1090 as a distribution platform.
There was no there.
Right.
For those people that don't know, there was no there. There was no radio station. The entirety of the 4+ years that we worked on this version of 1090 happened from our homes. So I got nothing but love for 1090. It sucks that it's gone as a sports station because I think it's historic. And, I consider myself, and I just tweeted, I really genuinely consider myself lucky to be a tiny part of that station's history.
Well, shout out to Mike Cardano, who's watching and listening at SportsGrid in New York, because he's saying, hey, I'm helping Pete Gray. And we appreciate that, Mike. I know I've talked to Pete a lot about that. So, yeah, listen, it's again, it never occurred to me that this was an emotional moment at all, because unlike 5 years ago, where when they pulled us off the air, I was screwed. 5 years later, not only are we not screwed, we were already on to bigger and better. And I know a lot of people are like, did you guys know this was coming? Because you guys did this SportsGrid thing before 1090 went off the air. We didn't. It makes us look smart.
Yeah. I got breaking news.
Oh, really?
Oh. How broken is it?
You want to tell it to us right now? You want to tease it and tell everybody to stick around?
I don't think it's that much breaking news.
Okay. All right.
But maybe to some people at Browner, it's huge breaking news. What tomfoolery is Steve Kerr getting up to today?
Jason Tatum starts. Jason Tatum starts.
Yeah.
Come on. So obvious.
Yeah.
So obvious.
Steve Kerr's a trickster, man. You got to watch him.
Dude, I knew it was going to happen that way.
So
after his apology, I apologize to Jason. Oh, I feel so bad about that. I mean, dude, it was so obvious Jason Tatum was going to start. Who's he starting for?
Great question.
Tell me it's LeBron.
No, LeBron's in.
How about KD?
Recently, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not making bad swings. I don't feel like I'm making terrible decisions, and just had got a little bit of a streak of bad luck on par fives. Didn't birdie any of them at the Open, didn't birdie any of them today. It's just, and I didn't feel like I did anything terribly wrong, right? But that's just golf. It happens. What's done is done, and this week is the most important week of the year right now.
If he lands it pin high, he's going to be off over the pin position and leave himself a tough putt there. That should bite now. He didn't like it by the looks of it, but he'll love it when he sees it.
Just get this before that bunker. Put himself in a good position.
Just a tiny little baby fade, ideally placed.
To tie the lead at 16.
Playing well, isn't he, John Rahm? And OMG, what a championship Sunday we just witnessed.
Win, right? So obviously you always want to get that done, but you don't want to see a teammate and a good friend, missing a putt for that happening for me.
The Live Golf League delivers every single event, doesn't it? I mean, what an incredible finish there. You know what, Tyrrell Hatton, I feel for him. He's been playing beautiful golf. In fact, since Miami, he's been the best player in our league based on the strokes gained metric.
I'm really happy that I had my first Live Golf win. Now that Kelly and the kids are watching, just knowing that I'm bringing the trophy home for them, it feels good to say that it's coming home.
All right, getting ready to wrap things up. This segment of Kaplan and Crew, once again, being brought to us by our friend Gary Cooper at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, 858-376-1299, 858-376-1299. Big shout out to Gary, because as we went into that whole rant about the death of 1090, you guys realize that Gary Cooper has been with this show since 2004. It's been 20 years that Gary has been an advertising partner on this show. And so even though things are kind of hard out there right now, if you're in the real estate industry, because, there's just not a lot of inventory and there's not a lot of movement like there once was, and interest rates are high. If you need anything related to buying, selling, or a home equity line of credit, Gary can take care of everything. And as I think Alex will vouch, man, he really goes out of his way to make it all work out, because Alex had a real complicated purchase of his condo, and Gary somehow got it to the finish line.
I bet you know who's really pissed off about 1090 shutting down?
Who that?
That lady that won SeaWorld tickets from Browner.
Oh, yeah.
She ain't never going to get them now. She ain't never going to get them now.
Stop playing, y'all.
Cut it out, bro. Why would you even bring that
up? This lady called and left a voicemail. And she's like, John Browner told me I won SeaWorld tickets. And we're like, lady, we don't know who you are, where you are, where you came from. We don't know what you're talking about, girl. Hey, by the way, speaking of things that you can never find, like those SeaWorld tickets, yesterday I was telling DeMarco Farr up at Rams training camp about the time that I almost had to beat up Sean Merriman, and I couldn't find the video. I looked all over YouTube about the day that me and Browner walked up to Merriman at the Super Bowl, and then Merriman grabbed me by the neck like, I'm going to kill you, little white Jewish man, And I was like, and then I came back right after that, and everybody saw what happened, and Tony Baselli sat down with us, and he goes, what the hell is that all about? I'm like, oh. I just almost have to give Sean Merriman 2 pieces and a biscuit. You feel me?
I really tried to find it. I just wasn't near my computer. I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
Makes me laugh, though. Really
yeah,
does
it makes me laugh
every
too.
time I see it.
Love you, Sean. Love you, Sean. Alex, you want to give some shout outs today before we rock on out? Because we're going to go watch the USA South Sudan basketball game. And oh, by the way, not that anybody really cares, but I'm going to be off the next 2 days. Grande and Brown Man got the show, no problem. You'll see the show's better without me. And
less complaining.
Is it complaining?
Less complaining.
Oh, there'll be less complaining. Yeah. My girlfriend and I, every year, this time of the year, we always go up to this blues festival in Mammoth, California, which is it's a concert in the middle of the woods. And it's so fun. And it's so great. You don't even have to know who the bands are. You don't even have to love the blues. It's an awesome thing to do. So we'll be up there this weekend. But I will be checking in with you guys on Friday from Mammoth Holistics.
Oh,
nice.
You know? So
will you be partaking in some supplies that day?
I'll be. In fact, we're having a group chat right now saying, who's bringing what. I'm like, I'm not bringing any of that until I get to Mammoth Holistics. I will go to Mammoth Holistics on Friday morning and pick it all up.
Nice. Very nice.
Yep. You want to send some shout outs?
Yeah. I've just been trying to just go through them real quick here. DJ Axel 1090 hold my spot for me while I was going through time in my life. I got some sports. Anyways, I can't read that. That's a lot of typos.
I think DJ is saying that he lives down in Mexico and that 1090 got him through a lot of stuff in his life. Nice. I hear that from people all the time. So appreciate that. Darth Navarro, my guy. What's he saying here?
Those of us been around for so long will always have some sort of soft spot for 1090. That's where it all started.
It did all
Joseph
start
Cabral, maybe he wants some SeaWorld tickets. He's like, I want Comic-Con passes on 1090 back in the day.
Love you, Joseph.
Charles, good. My 690, 1090 got me through my work days when I drove for courier companies and worked in Riverside County. Shout out to you, Charles. And then just some other shout outs. Paul, the swoosh, the diecast guy?
Yeah, diecast guy.
Shout out. Joe, and these are the people from earlier that were talking Padres when they did the walk-off. Joe Rigby, G. Mello saying Mike Schiltz a real leader of men. Gary Whaley saying better leadership this year with the Padres as well. Michael Meza, who very much disagrees with you about the Padres prospects, but I saw his comments all day. Last night was a masterclass in coaching. Schilt is a wizard. Andre Prado says we need to lock Merrill early before his stock price goes up.
That's an interesting thought, by the way, because that's what the Padres did with Tatis. They locked him up early,
Machado heating up.
He sure is.
The overpaids phoned it in last year. Got to give credit to the manager. Yes, Scott Roberts got outmanaged in use of analytics.
Right. Well, that's because, the way the Padres decided last night to bat for Jake Cronenworth and bring in Solano, that was, I was watching going, what are you guys doing? Like Jake Cronenworth is clutch, but then they actually went through the stats of what Solano's batting average was against left-handers. And I'm like, okay, that actually makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. That does make sense.
Alex, can you get your matchup for tonight real quick before we get out of here? And by the way, me and Alex are going to the Manchester United game tonight while the Padres are playing the Dodgers. So 2 good sporting events happening in a town that's got no sports all of a sudden. Padres, Dodgers tonight. Dylan Cease against Clayton Kershaw. Advantage San Diego.
I'll bet to all the Sports Grid listeners, bet that Dylan Cease gives up at least a hit today.
Ooh.
Good call.
Under.
I don't think there'll be another no-hitter today.
You don't think so, huh? All right, listen, to all of our Sports Grid viewers and listeners, we appreciate all you guys. To all of our YouTube.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand, right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here, warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is looking to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn. Right hand from my boy, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Pharrell has taken over. Let's go. It's Pharrell. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.